Hello, everybody. It's Scuttlebutt with Cleo and Pearl, and here we are for another fun show well, about politics and about what's happening right now because it is a big thing going on right now with all the primaries, um, and I'm feeling really optimistic about it. But the other thing that we have to be concerned about is Trump's ability to interfere with the voting. So he was asked by reporters recently uh, if he was going to try to stop or interfere with the November election. And, he's doing all he can. He keeps getting put down by the courts as far as the mail in voting. He's there saying, no, you can't do that. Uh, also, the thing about so much identification to prove that you're a citizen or whatever. Um, can't do that either. And he's just irritated. So anyway, when they ask him about his interference, which we all know and we all believe he is going to do everything he can to rig this election,
Everything.
if not just eliminate it entirely or eliminate the
Yeah.
results. So he said in his coy little way, when asked that question about is he going to interfere, he said, stranger things have happened. I'll leave it at that. Oh,
Jesus.
God.
Wild.
So profound, so
Wow.
profound. Which basically he's saying, yeah, I'm going to do whatever I can to screw it up. Um, and he thinks that he can do some stuff outside of, um, outside of Congress, which is what he's been doing all along, but also just outside of the norm by using some vague rule that came up in I don't know, like 1800s or something. Um, and so, yeah, everybody's a little bit worried about that. But what's really worrying people is Republicans don't want him to do this kind of stuff because that means their voters are going to say, you know what? I'm not voting for you again. I'm not voting for the Republicans. I'm going somewhere else. And that is also happening around the country. So he just keeps uh, making it worse for them. And so during their vacation time, they're out there trying to campaign to keep their job as a representative or a senator or some sort of congressperson. Um, and I really have a hard time with it because of Trump's constant interference. So, what does Trump say about that? God, he's just something else. He says, hey, the voters aren't mad at me, they're mad at the Republicans. And so,
Because there's a big difference between him and the Republicans, I guess.
what do you
God.
mean they're not mad at you? Of course they are. You started a war, the gas prices, the food prices, the let's talk about the reflecting pool. Oh my god, that has become such a ridiculous mess. And that the guy that supposedly vandalized it, they find out no, he didn't vandalize it. And then the what Pelosi or no, not Pelosi, what's her name?
Janine Pirro.
Piro, Piro.
Janine Pirro. Yeah.
Yeah, she comes out and says, "No, no, it was a botched by the people that put it together, the people that did the
Yeah.
job." And
Oh, a
then,
little bit of truth she dropped there. Ooh.
well, Trump hated that, and
Yeah,
then he
he does
started getting
that.
real threatening with her. So she takes
Mhm.
boxes and boxes of stuff down to him and says, "No, here's the proof." Well, for some reason, I heard, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I heard that they're going to turn this into a grand jury thing about the reflective pool.
Mm.
The Trump totally he botched it. He brought the wrong people in to do it. He didn't have, they should have never put some liner down at the bottom. But anyway, but he's still, Trump today is still saying that the person that vandalized it. Oh God. It's just so ridiculous. So So that was one thing, but I wanted to bring up about him saying that the stranger things have happened because that is the name of the show today. Stranger things have happened, and they just keep happening. So,
You better pace yourself here because there's probably going to be a lot of shows that should be called Stranger Things Have Happened the way this guy is going.
well, then it'll be Stranger Things Have Happened Part 2. part 3, part 4.
Or
So
stranger things have happened and we have to talk about it. I mean, you could do a variation on a theme there.
so before I go any further, I just want to remind everybody that we'd always need subscribers and we'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button and maybe the like button as well. It's this one. Um, yeah, if you could like and subscribe to our channel, it really helps us. We are a newer channel. We've only been on here for a few months. So we're always looking for subscribers. And for you guys that have already subscribed and really got the ball rolling with this, thank you. Thank you so much. It just, you don't know what it means for us to have that. Um, so, anyway, yeah, please like and subscribe. And you can just go ahead and do it right now. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's right there at the bottom, right below our video. Um, and really totally appreciate it. So, some other things we want to talk about today is what has been going on with the primaries. Oh my God, it's looking so good.
Oh, so good. It is so exciting.
Yes, the
I'm
primaries
very.
across the country have just been it's just been amazing how the Democratic Socialists or the progressive Democrats and the younger people running for office and stuff are getting in. I mean, I think that the voters around the country have really taken a liking to these people, and they see where they're going and they see what they want and they see how badly we need this kind of thing. We need people that want to, that want to keep Medicare and Medicaid, that want to keep Social Security solvent, that want to make sure children get fed. Um, and they don't, they're going to pay taxes no matter which way it goes. But even for the ultra rich, I think that there's thinking that the same thing, that really the kind of taxes we're talking about are not going to make or break anybody,
Right.
especially the ultra rich won't even feel it. But
No.
anyway, we're doing. Let me just see if I can find some of the information about this. Um, basically they're saying, what was that? I missed it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yes, yes, thank you,
I just put
Pearl.
it up there while you had you were reading. So.
Right, I had my head down, so I didn't know what you were doing.
Mhm.
Okay, so during the July and August primaries, the progressives, and Democratic Socialists are gaining ground, especially in Michigan, New York, Colorado, and parts of Wisconsin. Uh, but moderates still win in some swing states, but the Republican voters are split. Trump endorsed, God, I'm having trouble speaking, sorry. Trump endorsed candidates win some races but lose others, like in Minnesota and Michigan.
Mhm.
And incumbent losses, this is really different. Incumbent losses, people that have been in there for a long time, are unusually high. A lot of people are not keeping those same people in. And that is, I know over the years this has notoriously been when you've got somebody that's in the Senate or something, they might be in there for many, many terms.
Yeah.
And people are finally seeing this as, no, we're not going to do that anymore, because they kind of see, especially with Democrats, what the Democrats have been doing this year. And they feel like they've been doing nothing. And we keep giving them, okay, we kind of let it go because we think that they can't do anything because the Republicans are the majority and they're the minority.
Well, and also I think they're the Democrats that are not doing much of anything, like Chuck Schumer
Yeah, that guy.
and Hakeem Jeffries. God, I think I have allergies too. They're not they don't have any fire in the belly, all this stuff is going on, and they're not even putting forth proposed bills to stop some of the things that are going on. They're just saying, well, we can't do anything, they're in power. Well, you can go out on the news and talk shit about the Republicans. You can do stuff, and they're not doing that. So I think this has made a lot of people really mad. People are like, wait a minute, I'm a voter. I'm allowed to think, God, not much I can do. I can vote, but I can't. But you are elected. You can do something, and you're not doing anything. And I think that really has turned off a lot of people. I think that's why the more progressive Democrats who are trying to speak out are getting more traction. And the Democratic socialist leaning candidates are getting a lot of traction because people are saying, yeah, they're going to have to fight for all those things, and they're fighting. So,
Well, and they're talking about things that we all want.
yes, yes,
Um,
absolutely.
but it goes both ways as far as people getting uh, moving on to somebody new. The Republicans are having a particularly tough time right now. They're losing a lot of ground. A lot of their main people that they've had in there for years,
Because they're
uh,
dying.
they lost. No, because they
Oh,
lost their primaries.
oh, okay.
And
Yeah, that's true.
it's above a historical average for Republicans that they're losing it too. I just feel an uprising around the country of a bunch, these younger people, so smart, so progressive,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that they're looking around wondering why are you old people still involved in this anyway,
Well, I saw a wonderful interview with Jasmine Crockett on YouTube last night, and I can't remember the name of the interviewer. I recognized him, but I couldn't tell who he was. But they were asking about Mitch McConnell and where is he and what's going on with that. And she goes, well, I have a theory about the Senate. And he's like, well, what's that? And she goes, I think half of the Senate is actually dead. And everybody just exploded. It's just like, this is what everybody's thinking. This is what I've been thinking. I don't think it's just one or two guys. I think it's like quite a few. I don't think it's half, but I think it's quite a few. They're so old. Look at Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley's 96 years old.
wow.
And he's in better shape than Mitch McConnell, but that's not saying anything. And I mean, these guys are old. The median age is like 70 something, I think. I'm gonna Google that.
Well, and
Like,
the
they're
president
so
himself
old.
is really old. I
Yeah.
mean, we're watching him decline. We're both physically, mentally, just like you see with a lot of older people. It's just you can't get around that. When you're 80 years old, things change. Um,
Yeah.
and Trump, there a lot of people are getting very concerned. It's not even supposed to be like threatening or anything, but I mean he is just coming across as something's wrong, and
Wow.
they're worried about him.
So the Democrats' median age of senators that are Democrats is 64 years. The median age for a Republican senator is 63 to 64 years. And independents, the median age is over 80 years old.
Wow.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, that's,
Well, there was a time when some of these older people, because we had established a certain way of doing things, and it was good. It felt comfortable to have these people in there. I mean, I can think back, especially from Washington State, some of the senators that just went on term after term after term, and they just kept getting reelected, and everybody was happy with it. But it's a different time. It's a totally different time now. Things have really changed, and Trump has just turned things. He's turned the whole government on its head. I mean, it's just upside down. It is so crazy.
and for that, we actually have to thank him because it was not good. Even 20, 30 years ago when they were reelecting the senators over and the people in Congress over and over and over again, there were a lot of things that they should have done that they didn't do. Medicare for all being one of them. That would have been a good thing to have when COVID came along, wouldn't it? That would have been real good. And just that's just one glaring thing that, like, why the hell couldn't they do that? And raising the minimum wage, why the hell couldn't they do that? They had plenty of opportunity actually to do that, and they just didn't do it. So I do
Well,
think it's good that this is all being shook up, but I am just horrified by what our country is going through in order to shake it up.
well, I've always thought, and I think others have too, that what we're going through is something that we needed to go through.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a change just wasn't going to happen. And
Yeah.
so it took a real nutcase like Trump, a
Yep.
really bizarro person that just
Yep.
thought, oh, okay, I'll fix it. I'll just cut all the federal jobs. I'll just get rid of the federal buildings, but get rid of the federal aid. But for one thing, that is what the Republicans wanted. But nobody thought that you should come in and do it in 6 months. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
if he could have, if they would have done things a little bit differently, and not made it such a shock. It's just like with the immigrants when they
Mhm.
closed the borders down and they started arresting everybody and stuff. Everybody at first was like, Yahoo, because I guess in states where you have to live with that kind of thing all the time, and this really did change things, that was one thing. But then all of a sudden they figured out, uh oh, all our workers are gone. Uh oh, all our, they kept calling immigrants murderers and rapists and
Yeah.
mentally ill. That
Yeah.
was just stupid. And he went just overboard with it. Did what he did it work? Apparently, I guess there's less people coming over the border than
Well,
ever
they've kinda,
before.
like, locked down the border, that's why that's
Yeah.
happening. And
Yeah.
plus, I think people from Mexico and Canada are not that interested in coming here anymore. That's the other thing, is
Oh,
that
well,
it's
and
just
that helps. That
not a
helped
warm
too.
and friendly place anymore.
But he really screwed things up by doing things so fast. And this
Yeah.
thing with ICE, oh, everybody is up in arms about
Oh,
this. I
yeah,
mean,
that's terrible.
it's just so cruel and mean
Yep.
how they are treating these people.
Mhm.
Um, oh God, I saw a thing last night on the news. It just was heartbreaking about an entire family that was being deported, and they were splitting them all up, and they had like kind of teenage kids, maybe kids even in their 20s or something. And actually, I think this one kid, it was a teenager, and he is just sobbing. He
Oh,
can't believe they did not expect anything like this because, in fact, they are citizens of the United States.
oh my god.
Um, and it's just heart wrenching to watch something like that.
It's just a Gestapo state. It's just like they're whatever they wanna do, they're just gonna do it. That's it's
Well, and then
horrible.
somebody said that they saw signs of who was the woman that they shot in the face with
Robin Renee Good?
Renee Good. They
Renee
said,
Good.
yeah, this feels like shades of Renee Good. If
Yeah.
anybody was to step in the way, they would get shot. This group of thugs that calls themselves ICE, that Trump said, go ahead and do what you want to do because I'm going to back you up all the way. And he has.
Mm,
This is wrong. It's just wrong the way the whole thing's gone down. But this is really what put the fire under a lot of people. And I can
yeah,
see why. That
yeah.
said, okay, no, this is, and Trump blames them. He kept saying, I'm only doing what you asked me to do. Remember? I
Really?
mean, he
Yeah, I
loves to
know.
say that.
I know, but whoever asked him to well, Stephen Miller asked him to do it,
Well,
but
no, what he's saying is that the people said, no, we do want to get control of the immigrants. We do want them to
oh
stop
god.
coming into our cities and stuff. Um, so yeah, that's what Trump did. And so he said, hey, don't look at me. You asked me to do it. I promised that I would, and here's what you get. Nobody thought that it was going to be like rounding up the Jews and putting them in the concentration camps and gassing them. I mean,
But that's kind of what he's doing.
yeah, and this is so borderline close to that kind of thinking. It's shocking. It is shocking.
Mhm.
And and we could go on and on with all the economy and stuff, and him even last week, a lie about the economy. Stop it. No, the economy is not doing well. And not only that, after he said all this stuff about how well the economy is doing, referring to eggs. Well, no, we're we're talking about all foods, not just eggs. And the
Mhm.
egg thing happened because of the bird flu. Okay, so the egg prices came down. That everything else went up. And they're saying it's going to continue to go up. And the longer the war lasts, the more things will go up, 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 up.
But as long as this man lives the way he lives in his little glass bubble, he's just gonna dream up more and more crazy shit to do until he's stopped. So he has to be stopped.
He definitely has to be stopped. And he
Yeah.
knows, excuse me, he knows that come November, this is why he would like to totally stop the election.
Yeah.
And he keeps trying to do stuff, and judges keep saying, no, you can't do it. The Supreme Court have said, no, you can't do it. Um, and so, but he just keeps pushing for that. And then the Republicans are like, please settle down, stop it. We're not doing the Save America Act before November, no matter what happens. And even if they did, it wouldn't work. That's not going to happen before November. It's too late now. Things are going to stay the same. The voting will stay the same. But I can see him trying to do something just to make people scared, sending people into the polling places. I mean, in Washington state, I don't think we even have polling places anymore. We've been doing mail in voting for years and years.
Yeah.
And so there is no polling places. But I could see if they wanted to have ICE be there to collect those ballots out of the boxes and take them somewhere else, especially if Trump decided to do something like that. He would like to start a revolution. And that really, from the get go of the stuff that he was doing, that's really what he thought was going to happen. And he was getting prepared for it. If you recall, in the very early stages of his in January 2025, in those first few months, they were preparing for a civil war, a real civil war, a fighting in the streets with the people versus the government. No,
Mhm.
it didn't happen. You know why? Because the people in this country are so much smarter than that. What did they do? They went out and protested and they dressed up like frogs and stuff.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and they did it funny and they did it peacefully
Mhm.
and they mocked ICE. I
Mhm.
loved what they did. But
Mhm.
what they thought they were going to do is they were going to get people so riled up that they'd pull out guns and start a battle. And then they could come down and close down all the cities and just kind of take control over everything. Did not work because the people of this country are too damn smart for that. They
Mhm.
said, no, we don't like what you're doing, but we're not going to fall into your trap. We're not going to go by, we're not out for revenge. We're not out for fight, fight, fight. That's just not happening. So,
No. And while they have a lot of ICE agents, the truth is that a lot of them are leaving too. They don't like the job. They don't like the pressures of the job. They don't like being doxxed by people in the cities that they go to. They don't like the harassment they're getting. They can't get out of their cars and walk into a Starbucks to get coffee because they get harassed
I haven't heard anything like
everywhere.
that on the West Coast.
Mhm.
So, but you're hearing this on the East Coast.
Well, I see it on YouTube and
But do you
just
see it in the regular news and stuff?
oh, your regular news isn't gonna cover that
Oh,
because be
okay.
no, they're not gonna cover that. Only somebody who's doing it, like, on YouTube or Substack would cover that.
Okay. So, but
But it
that's,
but
I
and the
haven't had,
thing too that's really weird is that I hear more on YouTube about what's going on in New Jersey, in my state, about ICE and stuff that's going on than I do on any kinda news. I don't hear anything about that. And there's
yeah.
ICE here in New Jersey doing shit. I mean,
Yeah,
we have a
I saw that on somewhere about New Jersey and ice, and I thought, well, what's going on there? But we have the same thing in Seattle, Washington,
yeah, yeah,
and
very similar
particularly Western Washington. Not so much. Well, no, in Eastern Washington as well.
yeah,
But
you could yeah. Well, it's
but well,
burning now. Eastern Washington has got all the fires. They can't really be
really,
there. It's so terrible. Now, why
really,
don't they take some of those ICE agents and go fight the fires?
That's exactly what I said months ago.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not just take them and because I'm telling
I
you
know
this.
presidents in the past that would have done that.
Well, this thing
Like
in
every single one of them for the last 50 years, they would have done that.
the fires in Spokane and in and around that area in eastern Washington and Lake Chelan area and stuff, it's just it's just devastating. Plus, the saddest part of this whole thing with these fires, I mean, the fires start easily enough, particularly eastern Washington. It's a much drier area.
Yeah,
Gets very, very hot in the summer.
right.
And but somebody purposely set some fires, an arsonist. And yeah, they've caught the guy and he's admitted to it. But in the meantime, the areas that he set fires to, they lost over 700 homes and businesses. I mean, people are coming back to their land and they're finding nothing
Nothing.
but rubble and ash and,
Yeah,
a piece of a
nothing.
chimney. Um,
Yeah, probably not even their trees are left in
no.
around their homes. The home is gone, the trees, everything around it just gone.
And the sad part is it was set by a person. It was not lightning. But a lot of
Yeah,
lightning fires, that
yeah.
gets get started that way. But God,
Jeez.
so sad, so sad. I'm
So,
so God, I feel terrible for those people.
I do too.
But people are so resilient. It's amazing. Some people are looking at it going, "Well, we're going to rebuild. We're
Of
going to
course,
redo it."
of
Um,
course.
Other people are saying, "No, I can't. I mean, it's just the devastation's
Yeah,
too much. I'm going somewhere else," and that happens as well. But yes, this has been probably the worst fire season in Washington State in
well,
I don't know how long. I mean, a long
well,
time, long,
I
long
can
time.
never remember one like that when I was growing up there.
I don't, I don't remember one
I
like
don't
that either.
remember. I mean, the worst thing that I remember that was even close to that was the Mount St. Helens eruption that just, the ash and smoke just went on and on and on for months, coming out and ruining engines and ruining your breathing. And, you
Yeah,
know,
but when Mount St. Helens went off, the wind shifted it east
yep.
across the country.
And
People
no
in West
homes, hardly any homes around there.
Well, and people in Western Washington were like, "Ash, what ash?" It's, you didn't have to go that far before all of a sudden you see ash on cars and stuff. But
Yeah.
no, it was much worse. It would just carry this huge plum of ash across the country. So,
Yep.
but Western Washington lucked out. Right now, as far as the smoke and stuff from these fires in Western Washington, I'm a little north of Seattle. We're not getting it. It's a little hazy today, but it's up higher in the atmosphere. Now, we're not
Oh,
getting it too bad. We've had some, and it does feel like it adds to allergies and stuff. You
or
don't breathe as
irritation.
well.
Yeah.
Well, and
Hmm.
people with asthma and stuff, it's really kind of hard on them. But
Well,
a lot of it is just again moving east. So we've really, really lucked out. I mean, year after year, I can recall, that we'd have so much ash, it would be on our cars. You could just, you could barely see. It was like having fog all the time.
mm,
Um, it's been a little bit better than that around here, but the fires itself had actually been very worse because they're in eastern Washington and they're
mhm.
headed that direction. Some of the smoke comes down from Canada, not nearly as bad as what you people have dealt with over on the East Coast, where it's coming down into New York and New
Yeah.
Jersey and
Yeah.
Ohio. Um,
Yeah, there was a couple of weeks there where it was really, like, bad. You really had to be careful.
so,
But not now. I mean, it's better now.
and I will say that I think the Trump administration and FEMA is actually going to help.
What?
I know, amazing, right? And Governor Ferguson asked them to help, and they did, and he thanked them very much. I don't know if it's actually happened or not, but I was really surprised because Trump really hates Washington State because it's a
Yeah.
Democratic state. Um, so I think Maybe it was just lip service. Maybe they just said they would. I don't know if they actually have. So,
Well, I'm Googling. Let's see. On August 4th, it was announced that federal disaster assistance is available to the state. Um, issues emergency. Okay. Huh. So FEMA relief approved for Spokane, Washington. So, but what are they actually getting?
well, they're supposed to be getting money and aid and help. And I know that the Red Cross has just been, oh God, without them, I don't know. I mean, the Red Cross actually made a bunch of these, they framed things and then put a screen in the frame so that you
Mhm.
could go to your house and try to sift through things to find stuff like rings and
Yeah.
artifacts and stuff like that that might have still survived. And
Mhm.
I thought, amazing. But they're giving out water and food, and they're trying to find shelter for these people because they have absolutely nothing. I mean, their cars, their houses, everything is gone. There's no job, there's no nothing. It's
Yeah.
just really, really horrible.
Wow.
So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're actually coming and doing stuff, but it doesn't give a lot of detail about it. It just says from August 4th what they promised, what they approved and said they could get.
yeah. So, like I said, I haven't really heard if it actually came through, but yes, they are supposed to be helping out with this, and we need it desperately. They better hurry up on it. We need it now. So
No, nothing since August 4th. Okay, go ahead.
let me
Okay.
go back to Trump's election claims. He's so hung up on this Save America Act, and he's been told and retold, and he was so pissed off when the Republicans left for vacation time, and they're spending their time campaigning for the November elections, and he's like, no, get back here and get the Save America Act. The Save America
He's such
Act.
an idiot. He says that he's going to back them, then he badmouths them, then he says that they have to do these outrageous things that everybody's going to hate. And the stuff that he does, none of the people that he's backing are going to get elected. None of them.
Well, that's
None of
kind of
them.
what's been happening. They're
I
not even
know.
making it past the primaries. So,
No, which is really, really different than in years past. That's so highly unusual for an incumbent to be primaried out and for the backing of the current sitting president to be behind you and you still lose. Really, really unusual. Unheard of.
so with the election thing and the Save America Act,
Yes.
which I call America Getting Screwed in Every Orifice Act,
Mm-hmm.
uh, his his bill that he's trying to push through wants to require proof of citizenship to vote, require photo ID for all ballots, sharply restrict mail-in voting, and give the Department of Homeland Security access to state voter rolls. Every single one of these things have gone through court, and every single one of them they have lost
Yep.
because they go against it goes against the Constitution, and it goes against the law for the most part. So he gets so mad at his own Republicans for not passing this, and they kept going to him saying, "We do not have the votes. We
Yeah.
can't pass something without the votes. We do
Yep.
not have the votes." So everybody's screwed on that deal, and he just keeps harping on it. So it's going nowhere. It's just absolutely going nowhere. And
Just like his
that
ballroom. Just
there
like his
is no
ballroom.
there is no
Yep.
election fraud. And if everybody remembers back in 2020 when
Mm-hmm.
Biden won,
Mm-hmm.
And Trump went to, and I've said, I know we're keep harping on the same thing, but went to 60 different courts across the country, and
Mhm.
every court out of 60 found zero election fraud. It just was not happening.
It just warms my soul to hear that over and over and over again.
Uh, so anyway, things are really looking up though for the Democrats. And
Mhm.
the other thing is that they're so surprised about is how many Republicans that have been in there forever that are getting booted out. Even their own people are saying,
Mhm.
no, I don't know what you're doing, but you promised certain things. Nobody came up with it, and we're going to get some people in there will make a difference. Both Republican and Democrat.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, most of the most of the Congress has been on vacation for most of the year because, Mikey Johnson won't let them stay. He keeps every time there's a tough thing coming up, a tough bill, a tough vote, he says, "Oh, you know what? I got to go home and change the laundry, so we're on vacation." I mean, they have been on vacation, I think, more than they've been in session this year.
because they can't deal with Trump.
Mm, yeah.
They can't, and Trump gets all bully like and threatens them, and they're just like, you can't get what you want, but it's not our fault. We can't do it. The votes aren't there. And some of the things that they're coming up with, and I was just reading about Hegseth he wants $1.5 trillion for the military aid.
Oh, no,
Well,
let's be real. He wants 1 point whatever it is trillion for vodka. He doesn't give a shit about military aid. He just wants to
no,
drink himself into an early grave.
what he did though is he disenfranchised the Democrats. He wants the Republicans to come to the meetings and okay this bill, or I don't know that it's a bill, but okay this funding for $1.5 trillion to keep the war going that we don't want. But he's said the Democrats are not part of it. And the
Well, the
Republicans,
joke's
wait a
on
minute,
him, dude. Okay, go ahead.
wait a minute, that he had the joke is on him because the Republicans are going, you just kicked out the people that we need to vote for what you want.
Mhm.
They need the Democratic votes to pass this huge bill for the military
Yep.
that, I mean, I was thinking the other day, how many people are sitting around going, God, we really got to do something with this war in Iran. I do remember when we were in Vietnam. God, we were all so worried, and then everybody was, oh God, we're going crazy. Nobody's going crazy over this one, except the people that are involved in it, the sailors that were jumping off the ship because they don't want to from America because they don't want to be involved in it because it's a losing proposition. Um,
Well, there's that one ship that people are jumping off of because they've been out at sea for some godforsaken period of time. There's no decent food, there's no soap, there's no way to I mean, it's just terrible. They've been out there and no supplies have been brought to them and morale is terrible. People are doing the unaliving thing to themselves. That's all I'm going to say. And the commanders are just like, what are we supposed to do? And they have lost many, many people at their own hands on this boat, and they're not doing anything. They're just stuck in the water. And I don't understand why they can't helicopter in food and soap and toothbrushes and supplies and paper towels and toilet paper and food and food and food. And they can't. Oh yeah, and the showers and toilets are broken. I mean,
oh wow.
this is just a goddamn prison of a hellhole out on the open seas, and these guys are just sitting there. It's terrible. I mean,
So do you know what happened to the people that jumped off the boat into the water? Do you have any idea what happened to them?
they probably died.
No,
Where are
no.
they going to go?
I don't know. That's what I was just
Oh, you think
wondering. I
somebody
mean,
threw in like a life preserver and said, "Hey, we'll pull you up"?
were they close enough that they could get to land? I mean, I don't really know
No,
that much
no,
about
they're
this
okay. I'll Google it because it's
how
terrible.
bad it really
Yeah.
was. Uh, I will say that everything that Trump's been trying to do, he comes up empty-handed, and it's got to be very frustrating for him because he doesn't like that. He likes to just keep digging in until he gets what he wants, and it's just not happening anymore. And the other Republicans are just like, whoa, whoa, don't drag me into this. I want to get, I want to get my job back. I want to win in November. And Trump's kind of like, don't worry about it. They're not gonna kick you out and keep the communists in. Trump is so far removed from reality, and he doesn't understand what is happening right now. This is the new kind of modern movement that is taking place because of the weird stuff that Trump has enforced on all of us. What, did you find something?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay, go ahead.
So God bless AI, because here we go. Okay, so it's off the coast. It's let's see, too intense. Okay, it's operating in the Middle East, in Middle Eastern waters. It doesn't say. It's trapped in the. Okay, I don't know where it's. We don't know exactly where it is, but it went there presumably to fight in the Iran war. It's the USS Abraham Lincoln, and it says merchant commercial crews are trapped on ships stranded near Iranian waters. So it's a record time at sea. The carrier has logged, get ready for this, 250 consecutive days at sea. That's almost a goddamn year at sea without making a port visit. And this is a modern day consecutive at sea record. Severe strain and fatigue. Families and leaked records from Navy leadership sessions reveal extreme crew exhaustion, plummeting morale, severe mental strain, including multiple incidents where stressed sailors attempted to jump overboard. Degraded living conditions. Reports cite persistent mildew and mold in showers, broken toilets, failing plumbing, and temporary supply or mail strains during prolonged combat operations, though the Pentagon maintains that crews have continuous access to medical care, air conditioning, and nutritionally balanced meals. I really doubt that, because that's not what they were saying on the news that was reporting on it. And then there's another stranded commercial vessel, the MSC Francesca, anchored just miles off of Iran's coast. They're in their 4th month under the watch of Iranian guards with heavily restricted communication, such as 30 minutes of internet a day and no clear timeline for release. And here is just terrible. The USS Lincoln is the one I was talking about, though. And it's just
Wow.
terrible. Just
Wow,
terrible.
I had no idea it was that big of a mess.
Well, yeah, because the news doesn't report on this. And after the first week, and probably just the first few days of it being noticed by a reporter, after that, it just falls off the radar because Trump has done some other crazy, ridiculous thing that everybody has to jump up and down about, like something with ICE or somebody getting shot or him getting shot at, or, his airplane or some shit, or the ballroom, or, I mean, just crazy.
And what? And I don't have any information on this, but that thing about him hiding in the
The catering container?
the catering container, and switching planes and doing all
Yeah.
this, like, this is so typically Trump. He
Yep.
creates a bad situation. He creates a dangerous situation where somebody's trying to assassinate him, and so then he fixes it by doing this goofy stuff. And then they started taking the seriousness out of it by reporters saying stuff like, "We saw him in the container." We saw him ducking down in the container.
Was the chihuahua on his head?
Probably.
Probably.
So, I
He
mean,
needed somebody to keep him company in the container.
well, but I mean, it was so half-assed.
It
You
is.
know,
Now,
this
I heard 2 conflicting stories about this. One said that he went into the regular plane that they were calling Air Force One, and then exited out a rear exit with Marco Rubio and I think Pete Hegseth, and probably Walt Nauta or somebody, right? And then they went into the other place with him hidden in the container, right? But I heard another, and all the press were still on Air Force One. And then I heard another story where Marco Rubio wasn't on there, maybe it was only Pete Hegseth, I don't know, but it was all the press still on Air Force One, and he was, in the box and with the Chihuahua and, on the other place. So here's the thing though. Not only did he try to give the slip, to everybody, but there was a threat potentially against him, against his life. He let the press pool be unknowingly become the targets.
Perfect.
That's really bad.
Well, no, that's something I would totally expect out of him.
But that's really, really bad.
Because they were the new decoys. Somebody's looking for
yeah,
Trump to shoot him.
yeah.
So no, just
A
throw
president
the
shouldn't
press out there. Throw them
He's
under
not
the
supposed to do
bus.
stuff like that. He's not supposed to do stuff like that. He's supposed to protect people. He's not supposed to put them in harm's way. He literally
Well,
put
no, he
all
was
those people in
protecting.
harm's way.
You don't understand. He's protecting himself. He is the president. They can't afford to
Look,
lose
this
him.
guy, Iran had a fatwa against Trump since probably before he was even elected the first time. Or maybe it happened sometime during that first thing. Yes. So that meant they had a hit out on him. They wanted him dead. And so it's not super surprising that that's a country that he wanted to attack and that he wanted to get rid of their leader. Him, tit for tat. You're not gonna kill me. I'm gonna kill your guy. He's such a child. He's such a friggin' toddler. And this whole thing is like he wanted to take the stupid plane from Qatar and show it off to everybody, and then he couldn't do the plane because that's what it was all about.
Security.
National security. So I don't know. I mean, the
But
guy
this is what Trump does. He just creates so much chaos.
and
nobody can keep up.
Money. All of this costs so much money. He had to have a whole other plane to go in. It's so expensive. Oh God, he makes me crazy. Makes everybody crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say you and about 100 million other people.
Yeah. 300 million other people.
And his also this thing back. I mean, this is a good example. I mean, what we're talking about is much more serious about, a possible assassination attempt and stuff. But the reflecting pool really is a great example of everything that's wrong with the Trump administration. I mean, Jamie Raskin asked, me too. He asked them, "What are you doing? You said that this guy, I think his name's Hearn, that they originally, David Hearn. David Hearn was charged for the vandalism.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they found out, no, he didn't do it. So they get rid of that. And then they say, actually, it was just a botched job, and that they just did a bad job.
Yeah.
But Trump could not let this thing go about Hearn. He could not let it go. And so he brings it back up again. He goes, no, I want charges against that guy. Vandalized it, and it cost us a lot of money. Well, they're saying that if he did anything, it cost about $1,000. That's nothing compared to the 15-16 million they put into it. So
the reason they had to say it cost $1,000 is because in order for the law that they say that he broke to be triable in court, it has to measure up to the value of at least $1,000. That's why they said,
really okay. That's
why
they
said $1,000. To me, the cost of what he did was about $10. I mean, they owe him $10 because he actually picked up a piece of trash out of the water.
Well, and then the judge that decided to dismiss this guy, the Olympian, he did leave it wide open as far as that Trump administration could come back and press charges for something. So this is what Trump jumped on, that he wanted to do that. So Raskin just wanted to know, if you had the evidence that showed he was innocent, did the department mislead prosecutors to cover up a no-bid $15 million contract and Russian renovation? And he said, was the justice system weaponized against an innocent citizen? he basically is saying, I want to know what happened and what you have to say about it.
Mhm.
And but Trump insists that it's vandalism.
Well, of course, he's
The
about
other the woman, what is she? Is she a, a an attorney
with
general or
Jeanine Pirro.
yeah?
Yeah,
What is she?
she's the attorney general for Washington, D.C.
And apparently, she brought in all this
She
proof,
knew it was bogus, and
but
she didn't
now
want
she's backtracked. She's backtracked, and she's going, I think, for a grand jury. This is such a waste of time, such a waste of money,
God.
and uh, and Jamie Raskin, he just kind of picked the whole thing apart and said, I want to know what you people are doing and why you put this one person in such a place when he basically had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was not the vandal. What he did is I think he picked up a piece of the floating blue stuff that had come loose from the come loose from the bottom of the pool. It is so ridiculous. It is just terrible. And then to put this guy's life on the line over something so ridiculous. What he did is he was riding his bike. He went over to the pool. He saw something floating in the water. He reached down and picked it up, put it back down, got back on his bike and left, and they arrested
Yep,
him.
yep, yep. Yeah, I
Uh,
know. So here's what Jeanine Pirro did. So initially, she's all gung ho, right? She says that um, she claimed there was strong evidence that David Hearn slashed the pool's custom blue liner. Then she reversed course and voluntarily dismissed the charges, saying that the Department of the Interior documents proved the damage resulted from a botched contractor installation rather than vandalism. Then President Trump publicly states that Pirro folded like an umbrella. He can't even remember the phrase folded like a cheap suit. This guy is so mentally imbalanced. He's an imbecile. I'm going to start calling him an imbecile. It's not dementia. It's not, anything. He's an imbecile. And then Pirro said so. He said that Pirro folded like an umbrella and insisted that the vandalism had occurred and put her job security at risk. Then Pirro now has decided to convene a special, it's very special indeed, this grand jury, because there's never been one like it before, because it makes no sense. Amid the intense pressure and shifting scrutiny surrounding the case. And now there is a congressional probe. The House Judiciary Committee Democrats, which I believe Jamie Raskin is on that committee, have launched a formal investigation into Pirro's office and the Department of the Interior regarding how the flawed case was brought and dropped. Gotta love it.
And this all stems from
a piece of plastic floating in the water.
Redoing. First of all, why even redo the reflecting pool? Who put something painted at the bottom? You just diminished the whole idea of reflecting pool. Well, maybe it did need some work. It didn't need to be, you don't put, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy. To me, it's just another deflection of let's talk about the reflecting pool instead of what is really happening. We're getting down to the wire here. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and that is J.D. Vance. Now, he is really doing what he can. He sees himself definitely running for president in 2028. And so he is, again, he is trying to deflect from certain things. But anyway, he did an interview somewhere. I can't remember where it's at. But anyway, he said, in the interview, he described a moment where a glass fell off a wall during a conversation about Christianity, which he interpreted as a divine sign.
Wait, who is this interpreted?
J.D. Vance. He just put out a book called Communion or something, or Catholicism.
He's so goddamn forgettable. I couldn't even follow for 2 minutes it was still him. Okay, go ahead.
It's the vice president I'm talking about.
Oh, that guy. Okay, go ahead.
That of course he was having an intense talk about Christianity.
Intense, because he's such a Christian.
Well, all Republicans are.
he's been a Christian for 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Or is that a Catholic for 5 minutes?
Yes, the latter. Yes, a Catholic for 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Because his new memoir, Communion, details his conversation, details his conversion to Catholicism and has fueled speculation about his 2028 run for president. So, I
Wait,
mean,
isn't his boss also running for president in 2028?
he might be. He
How's
might be, but
work?
by the law, let's just say that it would be Vance trying to run for this.
Oh,
And
God.
there's been several testing things to try to see if Vance would win against certain
He'll
people.
never make it. Okay.
And he never wins it. But anyway, so when people read this, they were like, okay, so you had a conversation and something fell off the wall. And he decided that was a divine sign. And he's trying to attract all these Christian I don't know who he's, the people that he's trying to say, I'm so religious and I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
And then that means you want me as president. And so they mocked him, saying stuff like, shattering glass doesn't seem like a favorable message.
I agree.
And others joked it was more likely a loose wall mount or bad tape, not divine intervention or divine, whatever he was calling it. But mainly these people were talking about, I don't really think it is a good sign when you see something, you're talking about Christianity and something falls off the wall and breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody saw that as a really good sign, let alone
No.
some message from God.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants it to be. He wants it to be a message from God about him, just like they tried to do the same thing with Trump. And I just was cracking up.
Has this man ever vetted anything that he's going to say in public before he says it in public? Or does he just wake up in the morning and say, I think a great shit today. I think it's a divine sign. I think I'm going to go on The View and talk about it. I mean, he has no filter. He just like Trump, he just does not have a filter. I mean, maybe that's why they are together. Because I don't think they like each other very much, but maybe that's something they have in common.
Well, I wanted to see if I could find the notes on this, because it was much funnier than what I had printed out. But and just to move on right along, we were talking about the primaries and all the things that were going on with that.
Mm-hmm. Just before we leave, people, please like, share, and subscribe. Everybody,
please, yes.
It's
And
almost
so,
an hour.
The pillow guy.
Oh God, who could forget the goddamn pillow guy? Yeah.
Well, he trailed in double digits in Minnesota's gubernatorial.
There's a surprise. There's a surprise.
Gubernatorial primary, but he refused to concede.
Of course.
After the polls closed, the winner ended up being somebody named Lisa Denudo. I don't know. I had that somewhere else too. But Lisa, I'm sorry, I don't know I can't read my own reading. But she was the Minnesota House Speaker, and she was more than 45,000 votes ahead of Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy.
Yeah, it was Lisa DeMuth.
DeMuth.
Muth with a TH. DeMuth.
DeMuth, excuse me. DeMuth.
Yes.
So anyway, even though in a primary, he's 45,000 votes behind him, I'm not conceding. Something here could happen. That poor guy.
Well, he used to be. I think he used to be a crackhead.
I think that was the other thing. that they were
Yeah.
saying that he used to be a crackhead.
Yeah, he was a
And
crackhead, so, maybe some of that gray matter is well and truly dead up there, maybe he just does not have enough synapses firing to know things.
yeah, I
He's
thought I
not
had more.
bright. He's
I
not
thought
bright.
I thought I had more information about him, but I just cracked up. I thought, what are you holding on to? No, nobody wants to elect you for anything.
This is
He's
like
still he's still saying, and actually I was surprised. There's some people, Republicans, that are still supporting Trump on the 2020 election, that it was fraud, that it was stolen from him, and they're
oh,
still
wow.
believing that. And I think some of those people actually did win their primaries and they could be in the vote. I'm thinking, well, that will definitely be a Democrat that wins that, because you have to be a complete idiot at this point not to know that that voting has, they have investigated, researched, gone through courts. They have done so much stuff about that election.
That's right.
There's just no way in the world that it was a fraudulent vote, that Trump
No,
won. But
no.
some people still claim that. So they're still, they all got a hold of the same Kool-Aid and feel like that's what's going on. But the My Pillow guy, I mean, didn't he just like lose everything anyway? And then
Yeah.
he's still out there trying to run for office. And even though he's 45,000 votes behind, I mean, that's just, for a state election, for primaries, to be that far behind and then go, no, I'm hanging in there. I'm going to keep fighting.
I really hope for his sake that he's not married, because man, that is just man, where is your sense of self? Just take yourself out of there. That's just terrible.
Well, and the other thing is that Trump endorsed him. Trump
Oh my
endorsed him
God,
for
he's
the.
married. Oh my God, he's married.
Well, I don't care if he's married or not, but it was, Trump has said over and over again, when I endorse somebody, they win. Not only did he not win, he just got wiped off the map with by this Lisa DeMuth. Uh, and so they're just saying again that Trump again totally lies about everything he does. He supported the My Pillow guy, and it just did not work out. So I'm waiting for him to say it was a rigged election. That's why Mike didn't win. That's
So
why.
I just Googled after the marriage question. I just I just Googled what is Mike Lindell's net worth? Do you want to hear the answer?
Yeah,
I think it would be
well, yeah,
one
because
that I
I
think
had
we should just put this one up on the screen, because I
he
think
did
that
used to have a lot of money. Don't just
he
tell me.
did.
Just tell me.
I gotta read it because it's funny. Michael Lindell's worth today is widely estimated to be $0 or deep in negative numbers.
Oh my God! So
Well,
he's
his peak net worth was 200 to $300 million during the height of My Pillow's success.
and his support of Trump put him down to negative zero. I mean, what a bummer for him. But but he's still stupid enough to still support Trump and claim that that was a rigged election, and still goes right along with it, even though he's lost everything. Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah.
You know,
But he's still married. His wife is still with I bet she has a job.
yeah, somebody better have a job in that family.
Yeah. Wow. Oh,
So
just a few days ago. Wait, what's today? August 13th? On August 5th, he stepped down as the CEO of My Pillow. But let's see
well,
the
just
rest of that headline.
was it just
Well,
in
let's see.
time for the primaries so he could go ahead and lose that too?
He stepped down
Did
to devote 100% to devote 100% of my time and energy to my campaign for I'm sorry, Mike. But that's
what
really
a
know.
pathetically
I
sad
really know.
story
Oh, it's so sad, so
with all,
sad.
with all his
Oh
support of
my god.
Trump endorsing him. And then he leaves his job. I think he had to leave his job because I think that business, My Pillow business, went bankrupt. I think he owes his suppliers a lot of money. I had heard that in the past.
I'm sure that's true. And so sad that he devoted 100% of his time and energy to his campaign for governor, and then he lost the primary.
Well, what, did he have like about 3 days where he devoted all his time to the
Yes,
governor
yes,
campaign?
he did.
You
About
know,
3 days, 24 hours maybe, where he was
God.
really going for it. Oh my god. Oh
Well,
god.
I mean, I don't enjoy laughing about somebody that's going through hard times like this,
Oh,
but please,
really?
but
After all the
this
shit that he pulled on all of the
exactly,
American public? I don't give a shit.
exactly.
I think that guy deserves
I
everything that's coming to him.
know I'm still trying to contain myself. Um, so anyway, this is the show for today. And actually, we usually do these on Sunday, and they come
Mhm.
out on Monday. Well, Pearl has changed the schedule for a while. She's got other commitments going on from now until October.
Yep.
And so we're going to try to do it. This is Thursday, and I will put this show out tomorrow, Friday, the 14th, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, is that what Friday is?
Tomorrow is for the 14th.
The
Yes, you're
14th.
absolutely
So it'll
right.
come out tomorrow. And I hope you guys will watch this because, especially when you get to the end, because we couldn't keep it together.
It's a funny world. You gotta
Yeah.
laugh.
Well, stranger things have happened.
Yeah. What was the tagline after Stranger Things Have Happened? What was the last part that he said?
I'll
Do
leave
you
it at
remember?
that.
Okay.
I'll
He
leave it at
said,
that.
"I'll leave it at that."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll leave it at
Oh,
that.
jeez.
So anyway,
Oh my
I'll
god.
try to have this up on Friday, and I think for a while we're going to be changing. The shows will start coming on Friday, and just for a while because Pearl is doing something else. So thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
and we will we'll see you very soon. Bye bye.
Bye.